What would you do if you are pushed too far enough to the edge of your limits, or even into the depth of danger by wicked people? Will you retaliate and fight back if you have the means, or just let them be? Some actions carry consequences far greater than we can imagine, and some people aren't who they seem to be. This is the story of a girl bullied for her poverty and intelligence, and thrown into a river by her tormentors, only for them to discover too late who she truly was. Crescent High School was a playground for the rich and powerful. Its gates welcomed the children of Nigeria's elite, politicians, oil magnates, and business moguls. Here, influence spoke louder than rules, and no one knew this better than Sophia, Melissa, and Victoria. Sophia, the sharp-tongued leader, had a knack for making people feel small. Melissa, her equally haughty best friend, was quick with cruel words, while Victoria, older and seemingly calmer, carried out the group's darkest schemes with unnerving ease. Together, they wielded their wealth and status like weapons, ruling over the school without challenge. But Anna wasn't like them. Anna's life had been shaped by struggle. Her parents, hardworking petty traders, barely earned enough to make ends meet. Yet, through grit and determination, Anna had gained admission to Crescent High on a full scholarship, her brilliance earning her a place among the wealthy. She quickly became the darling of her classmates and teachers, not just for her intelligence but for her willingness to help others. Anna's light, however, cast a shadow on Sophia and her friends. The trio, accustomed to being the center of attention, couldn't stand seeing a girl from such humble beginnings rise above them. Jealousy festered into hatred, and they made Anna their target. "She thinks she's better than us just because she's smart," Sophia muttered during lunch, her voice dripping with disdain. "She doesn't even belong here," Melissa added, glaring across the cafeteria at Anna, who was helping a group of students with their assignments. Victoria leaned back in her chair, a smirk playing on her lips. "Then let's remind her where she really belongs." And so, a plan was born, not just to humiliate Anna, but to break her completely. What the girls didn't know, however, was that Anna carried a secret. A secret tied to the very river they planned to use against her. The next day, Crescent High bustled with its usual energy. Sophia, Melissa, and Victoria strolled into the school courtyard, their heads held high. Today wasn't just any day, it was the day they would set their plan into motion. They had decided that instead of direct confrontation, they would approach Anna with feigned kindness. "Let's make her think we actually like her," Sophia instructed. "She'll never see it coming." As the trio made their way to Anna's table during lunch, their sudden appearance drew whispers. Everyone knew the three rarely associated with anyone outside their circle. "Hi, Anna," Sophia began, her voice unusually sweet. "We were just talking about how impressed we are with you. You're so smart and nice." Anna looked up, startled. She had never spoken much to the trio beyond the occasional polite greeting. "Oh, thank you. We were wondering if you'd like to hang out with us after school," Melissa added, flashing what she hoped was a warm smile. Anna hesitated. It seemed too good to be true. These were the same girls who often ignored her or whispered cruel things when they thought she couldn't hear. But part of her wanted to believe they had changed. "I guess that sounds nice." "Great." Victoria chimed in. "We'll give you a ride home after school. It's the least we can do for someone as amazing as you." As the school day wore on, Anna couldn't shake the nagging feeling in her gut. Why had Sophia, Melissa, and Victoria suddenly taken an interest in her? But she pushed the doubts aside, choosing to believe in their sincerity. Maybe, just maybe, they were genuine. By the time school ended, Anna was waiting at the school gate, her books clutched tightly against her chest. The sleek black SUV belonging to Sophia's family pulled up, and the three girls waved her over. "Hop in." Sophia called, smiling brightly. The ride began pleasantly enough. The girls asked Anna about her interests, her family, and her dreams. She found herself relaxing, thinking she might have misjudged them after all. But as the car veered off the main road, heading toward a more desolate area, Anna's unease returned. Are we still going toward my house? She asked cautiously. Oh, we just wanted to show you something first, Melissa said with a chuckle. Yeah, you love it, Victoria added, her voice light but with an edge that Anna couldn't quite place. The car eventually stopped at the edge of a dense forest. Beyond the trees, Anna could hear the faint sound of rushing water. Come on, Sophia urged, stepping out of the car. Anna hesitated but followed. The other girls led her deeper into the forest, their laughter echoing eerily through the trees. Soon, they arrived at the edge of a wide, fast-flowing river. The riverbank was quiet, except for the sound of rushing water and the occasional chirp of distant birds. The sun was beginning to dip below the horizon, casting an orange glow over the scene. Anna stood by the water's edge, unsure of what to make of the situation. What are we doing here? She asked, her voice tinged with nervousness. Sophia grinned, her demeanor shifting. We just thought this would be a fun place to hang out. You like nature, don't you? Anna nodded slowly, glancing around. Something felt off, but she didn't want to seem ungrateful. Here's the thing, Melissa said, stepping closer to Anna, her friendly tone suddenly laced with malice. We've been watching you, Anna. You walk around school like you're better than everyone else. What? Anna's voice wavered. I've never. Save it, Victoria interrupted, her eyes cold. You think you're so perfect. Everyone loves you, don't they? The teachers, the students, they all think you're some kind of saint. Anna took a step back, her pulse quickening. I don't understand. What did I do to you? Sophia sneered, her mask of kindness completely gone. You exist, Anna. That's enough. Before Anna could respond, Melissa shoved her, causing her to stumble toward the edge of the river. Stop it. Anna cried, panic setting in. But the girls weren't finished. They circled her, their laughter cruel and echoing. You're just a poor little nobody who doesn't belong in our world, Victoria said, shoving her again. Anna's feet slipped on the muddy ground, and she struggled to regain her balance. Please, she pleaded, tears streaming down her face. I don't want any trouble. Oh, you're in trouble alright, Sophia said, her voice dripping with venom. With a final, forceful push, Anna tumbled backward into the river. The cold water engulfed her, dragging her under. The girls stood at the edge, their laughter fading as they watched the ripples spread across the surface. Do you think she can swim? Melissa asked, a trace of doubt creeping into her voice. She'll be fine, Sophia replied, though her confidence wavered. Come on, let's go. As they turned to leave, thunder rumbled in the distance. The sky, moments ago clear, began to darken rapidly. Did you hear that? Victoria asked, glancing nervously at the sky. Before anyone could respond, the water behind them erupted with a deafening roar. The girls froze, their faces pale as they turned back toward the river. Rising from the water was not the Anna they had pushed. Her eyes, once warm and kind, now glowed an eerie, fiery gold. Her hair streamed behind her, shimmering like liquid silver, and her lower body was no longer human, it was the scaled, powerful tail of a mermaid. Lightning cracked across the sky as three more figures emerged from the river, their forms equally otherworldly. The air grew heavy, charged with energy that made it hard to breathe. Anna's voice echoed, layered with a resonance that sent chills down their spines. You thought you could destroy me? But you've only unleashed what you cannot comprehend. The girls stood frozen, their bodies trembling as Anna hovered above the river, her shimmering tail glistening in the dim light. The three mermaids who flanked her were as terrifying as they were beautiful, their eyes glowing with the same fiery intensity as Anna's. The air crackled with electricity, the ground trembling beneath their feet. Anna. Sophia stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. What are you? Anna tilted her head, her once gentle features now cold and unrecognizable. You thought I was just a poor, helpless girl, she said, her voice thunderous and echoing. But you don't know what you've done. You've awakened something ancient, something you cannot escape. Lightning streaked across the sky, illuminating the fear etched on the girls' faces. Melissa, always quick with words, tried to muster her usual confidence. We didn't mean to. Didn't mean to. Anna roared, her voice like a crashing wave. You humiliated me. You tormented me. And now you've tried to end my life. Do you think your words can undo what you've done? Sophia stepped forward, her knees shaking but her pride forcing her to act. Look, we'll leave, okay? We'll never bother you again. Just let us go. Anna's eyes narrowed, her glowing form rising higher into the air. Leave. After what you've done. You don't understand. This river, my river, doesn't let trespassers go unpunished. The mermaids around her began to chant in a haunting, melodic language, their voices weaving a spell that made the water ripple and surge. Victoria dropped to her knees, her tears mixing with the rain that had begun to fall. Please, Anna. We are sorry. We didn't know. Sorry. Anna's voice was filled with icy disdain. You weren't sorry when you laughed at my pain. You weren't sorry when you pushed me into this river, thinking I'd disappear forever. The mermaids moved closer, their piercing eyes locking onto each girl. What should we do with them, my sisters? Anna asked, her voice soft yet deadly. Make them feel what they made you feel, one mermaid hissed. Drown them in the pain they caused, said another. Take their power, their arrogance, the third chimed, her voice dripping with malice. The river surged, tendrils of water snaking around the girls' ankles and dragging them closer to the edge. They screamed, clawing at the ground, but the water's grip was unrelenting. No. Please. We'll do anything. Melissa cried, her voice breaking. Anna hesitated, her glowing eyes flickering for a brief moment. But the images of their cruelty, of her parents' sacrifices, of her tears, of the betrayal, flashed in her mind. The hesitation vanished. You sought to destroy me because of your hatred, your jealousy. Now, the river will have its due, Anna declared. The water rose higher, swallowing their cries. Lightning flashed, illuminating their terrified faces one last time before they were pulled under, the river growing eerily still as their screams faded into silence. The storm ceased as quickly as it had begun. Anna and the three mermaids lingered for a moment, their powerful forms glowing against the now calm river. They are gone, one mermaid said softly. Justice has been served. Anna nodded, her face expression softening. It is done. But their actions will serve as a warning to others who think cruelty carries no price. With a final glance at the empty riverbank, Anna sank back into the water, disappearing beneath its surface along with her sisters. The river returned to its tranquil state, but the whispers of what had happened there would haunt Crescent High and its students forever. The following day, Crescent High was abuzz with confusion and fear. Sophia, Melissa, and Victoria hadn't returned home the night before, and their families, wealthy and powerful, had launched a frantic search. Police officers combed the city, their vehicles parked outside the school gates as officers questioned students and teachers. But there was no trace of the girls. Sophia's father, a prominent business magnate, stormed into the principal's office. How could this happen? My daughter has never been late for anything, let alone gone missing. Melissa's mother, a high-ranking government official, wept openly, her usual cold demeanor shattered. You must find them. Do whatever it takes. Victoria's parents, stoic yet visibly shaken, quietly funded private investigators to search every corner of the state. Despite their wealth and influence, no amount of power could uncover what had truly happened that night by the river. Meanwhile, Anna's parents, unaware of what had occurred, grew worried when their daughter didn't come home. They searched the streets, calling her name, their desperation growing with each passing hour. By morning, their prayers were answered when Anna appeared at their door, soaked but unharmed. She hugged them tightly, her voice trembling. "I'm safe," she said, though she offered no details of where she had been. Her parents, relieved and grateful, assumed she had fallen into the river and managed to escape. They thanked their gods for her survival, never knowing the true nature of the miracle that had brought her back to them. Back at Crescent High, whispers filled the hallways. Some students claimed they had seen flashes of lightning and strange figures near the river the night the girls disappeared. Others believed it was just a tragic accident, perhaps they had gotten lost in the forest. But Anna's classmates, who had witnessed the girls' cruelty toward her, couldn't shake the feeling that their disappearance was no coincidence. "She's different," one student murmured to another. "You mean Anna?" "Yeah. I don't know what it is, but there's something about her." Days turned into weeks, and with no sign of their daughters, the parents of Sophia, Melissa, and Victoria sought answers in desperation. Rumors of the river's mystical nature reached their ears. Some whispered that the river was sacred, protected by ancient spirits, and that those who disrespected it faced dire consequences. Desperate for closure, the three families sought out a local priest who was said to know the secrets of the river. The priest listened quietly as they recounted their daughter's disappearance. "You say they were last seen near the river?" the priest asked, his tone grave. "Yes," Sophia's father said, his voice trembling. "Can you help us find them?" The priest shook his head slowly. "The river is not like other places. It is alive. It judges. If they brought harm to another there, then the river has already made its decision." The parents were stunned into silence. "Are you saying," Melissa's mother began, her voice cracking. The priest nodded. "They were taken by the river for their actions. Nothing can bring them back." The parents, racked with grief and guilt, withdrew from public life. Though they never publicly acknowledged what had happened, whispers of their daughter's cruelty spread throughout the city. Their once pristine reputations were tarnished, and their family's wealth could not shield them from the shame of what their children had done. As for Anna, she returned to Crescent High, quiet but resolute. The other students treated her with a mix of awe and fear, though she remained as kind and helpful as ever. She never spoke of that night by the river, and no one dared to ask. But the memory of the event lingered. The river became a place of caution, its waters whispered to hold the power to judge those who wronged others. Anna's classmates learned a hard lesson about the price of cruelty, and the story of Sophia, Melissa, and Victoria served as a grim reminder: some forces are greater than wealth, power, or influence. One evening, as the sun set over the river, Anna stood at its edge. The water shimmered under the fading light, calm and serene. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the gentle rush of the current. A faint ripple danced across the surface in response, as if the river itself acknowledged her words. Anna turned and walked away, leaving the river and its secrets behind.